ভাল মানুহ বেয়া মানুহ লগা selection নহয় এটো খালি পয়সা আৰু পয়সা আৰু পয়সা Naga public to two issues sai কোন সেন্টেতে গভর্নমেন্ট চলি আছে দোসরা তো হলে তো সুকুবম কৰি কেনে কিমান পয়সা টানিব পাৰিব ইটো কথাই আছে The church itself have started off on a wrong track by calling politicians people who are raping the government system are being brought as chief guests into a religious conference to speak to the congregation. The public is not concerned about Naga political issue. Muiva is not interested in solution. Mr. Rio is not interested in solution. They are happy with the system as it is. It is all a hoax to fool the people of Nagaland to say opposition-less government in order to fight for Naga solution. RSS philosophy prahi BJP survive kuri thake aru RSS khan koato leto India to Hindu manu laga country ase the government of India has already begun defiling the Christian Sunday it cannot be a mistake when they particularly pick Good Friday to become a working day it is intention is very clear in the future only Hindus can become a chief minister of a state They are talking of things like that.
Global window de सबके सोकत करे ऐसे viewers कन के अलग-अलग चर्चा ऊपर दे दिखाई कि ना ऐसे गवर्नमेंट की सवाल उठाए ऐसे और इतो लगा जवाब पापले कोशिश करे ऐसे आज आमी खान सब मानुबरा जानी ना से ताई कारण इंट्रोडक्शन ना लगे के सेमा IAS retired আৰু তাইকে বেছি মানুহৰা কে সেমা পৰা জানে 2013 দে যেতিয়া একাউণ্ট ফৰ্মেশ্যন হৈছে ইটো টাইম দে স্যাৰ কে সেমা তো এজ এন এডভাইজাৰ আৰু ইয়াংষ্টাৰ্ছ কাৰণে একটা মোটিভেশ্যন নিচিনা তাই থাকিছে পুলিচ খান পৰা একাউণ্ট খান প্ৰটেষ্ট কৰা দাম দিবি স্যাৰ কে সেমা তো খাৰা কৰি না ৱাটাৰ ক্যানন দাক তাইকে মাৰি দিয়া লাভ सब मानुरा किसा जाने इनिया करिना ताई एकाउंट तो छाड़ी दिसे आरो 2018 दे कांग्रेस टिकेट प्रा खासपानी 2 प्रा कंटेस्ट करिसे इलेक्शन तो हारिसे हुलिबि ताई निशिना एकटा मानु दो नागालैंड कारणे आरो यंगस्टर्स कारणे बेसी एनकरेजमेंट एकटा सब मानुरा फॉलो करा आमी कान दिखिना आसे আজি ग्लोबल विंडो खान Sir के सेमा লগত আহি কিনা আছে Sir के सेमा পৰা গ্লোবাল উইন্ডো কে টাইম দিয়া কাৰণে বেছি খুশি পাই আছে So sir আপুনি Nagaland government দিবি you have served in the capacity of commissioner and secretary Sir আপুনি রিটায়ার হৈছে then আপুনি sir account তে 2013 দে আপুনি জয়েন কৰিছে আৰু বেছি মানুহ youngsters kan আপুনি নিচিনা একটা রিটায়ার্ড গভর্নমেন্ট সার্ভেন্ট একটা পৰা ইমান account laka movement agi luina ja laka bi sir beshi manu appreciate korise aru apuni la followers bi beshi ase sir and not forgetting that very moment sir Kermol junction de protest kora account kan water cannon maradam de sir apuni khara kori thakise you were unmoved and then sir itu laka photo caption do beshi sir viral hoise then you contested 2018 election congress ticket
right
and then sir it's been 2-3 years apuni laka movement sir ekuni dike So, sir, इतिया लगा टाइम दे अपनी की करी थी sir?
Well, आमी election जाए experience पातो हमार निजोर नागा मानु लगा भावना आरु काम कुरिया साइकिना ओलोप मन दुख हुआ तो ভাল মানুহ বেয়া মানুহ লগা selection নহয় এটো খালি পইচা আৰু পইচা আৰু পইচা এইটো হেঁচা পৰা ইলেকশ্যন কৰি থাকাটো ষ্টেটটো কেতিয়াবি ভাল হ'বলৈ নহয় ভাল মানুহ হ'লে বি এইটো চিষ্টেম পৰা ইলেকশ্যন যাওঁতো ইমান নিজৰ প্ৰপাৰ্টি কি আছে পইচাটো আৰু money lenders pra naga loan hesab te 10% per month pra loan crores pra loy to itu nishina avastha pra election jao to kun bhal manu Christian manu hoile bina iman kharcha in terms of crores phelai kena government jabo just as an example, I mean, jodi 1 crore loan Naga loan pra. Every month, you have to pay 10 lakhs as an interest only. Nagaland te kun business pra, kun kam pra, 10 lakhs per month pabule kam ase. Bhabna kuri sabito.
Yes, sir.
আৰু ইটোতো খালি ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট লগাই কথা কৈ আছে ক্ৰ'ৰ একটা লোৱাটো কেপিটেল এমাউণ্টটো দিব নাপাৰি কিনে ইণ্টাৰেষ্ট বি খেতাব নোৱাৰেতো ইটো নিচিনা বুজা পুকি কিনে গভৰ্ণমেণ্ট মিনিষ্টাৰ হয় এডভাইজাৰ হয় খ্ৰীষ্টিয়ান মানুহ হ'লে বি চকু বন্ধ কৰি কিনে কোন ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট কণ্ট্ৰল কৰিব এইটো ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট লগা বাজেটটো সব কি নিয়ম পৰা কামাব পাৰিব ইটোই কৰি কিনে যাইছে কৈলে কন্ট্ৰাক্টৰ্ছ খান কাম দিব কাম নকৰা আগতে 1 crore লগা কাম পাইছে কৈলে 50 lakhs to কাম একেবাৰে একো নকৰা আগতেহে কমিশ্যন প্ৰায় ব্ৰাইব দি কেনে কাম পাব কন্ট্ৰাক্টৰ্ছটো আকৌ ছেক্ৰেটাৰী খান ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰ খান down to overseer field thaka khan logote bribe kuri kena kam kora to actual amount paisa to 1 crore te maybe 25 lakhs loi kena kam koribo contractor bi lab koribo karni contract kori ase to itu hesab mote আমার এমএলএ খান মিনিষ্টাৰ খান সব ইটো নিয়ম পৰা কাম কৰিছে গ'লে নাগালেণ্ডটো কি হিচাপ পৰা ডেভেলপমেণ্ট কৰিব তো ইটো নিচিনা অৱস্থা চাই কিনে আমাৰ খান ইটো ইলেকশ্যন নৰ্মছটো বুদলি নহা তাক আৰু খালি পইচা চকুটো খালি পইচা দি চাই কিনে ইলেকশ্যন কৰিব কোৱাটো নাগা মানুহ কাৰণে তেলে আগে কেতিয়াবি যাব নাপাৰিব তো ইটো হিচাপতে আমি পাব্লিক লগা নিয়ম চাই কিনে ভাল মানুহটো কেতিয়াবি নাগালেণ্ডে ভাল মানুহটো কেতিয়াবি ইলেকশ্যন জিকিলে বি কাম কৰিব নাপাৰিব ইটো হিচাপ মতে যাই কিনে আমাৰ কামটো এনেকাহি যাই থাকিব কৈ আছে না আমাৰ খান বি মানুহ কেনেকা কৰি আগে যাই আছে চাই কেনে ভাল মানুহ অনেষ্ট পৰা কাম কৰা মানুহ এইটো খান বিচাৰি কেনেহে আমাৰ খান ৰেপ্ৰেজেণ্ট কৰিব দিব কাৰণেহে কোচিছ কৰা নিয়ম নচলা তাকতো হ'লেতো কোন ৰকমতে বি আমাৰ খানটো আগে যাবলৈ নাপাৰে
স্যাৰ মই বি আপুনি যোনটো এতিয়া কৈ আছে তাতে ৰাজি কৰি আছে হ'লে বি স্যাৰ আপুনি নিচিনা একটা এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চ মানুহ মহান জানি আছে স্যাৰ আপুনি ইউ আৰ সুন গোয়িং টু টাৰ্ণ 78 এইটো সাল 78 ইয়াৰ্ছ তো স্যাৰ এইটো ভাষ্ট এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চ আছে আপুনি কণ্টেষ্ট কৰি চাইছে এতিয়া কোৱা নিচিনা আৰু পইচা লগা কেমি ডাঙৰৱালা তো স্যাৰ চিষ্টেমটো ক'ত পৰা চেঞ্জ হ'ব লাগে চাৰ্চ পৰা হ'ব লাগে না ঘৰ পৰা হ'ব লাগে না স্যাৰ পলিটিচিয়ান লগা হাত বি ইনভলভ আছে না ইলেক্ট্ৰলছ খান ভোটাৰ্ছ খান লগা স্যাৰ গাল্টি আছে এইটো কেনেকুৱা একটা বদলাভ আনিব নাগালেণ্ডে স্যাৰ
এইটো এতিয়া চিষ্টেমটো কেঞ্চাৰ নিচিনাই হৈ যাইছে দেই আৰু Amakantu mainly Nagas are Christians, and therefore I would believe that the church has a very serious responsibility. Church has a serious responsibility to at least deal with the congregation. We are all part of the church. We are a part of the congregation. Now the church, their way of managing has also become very questionable because the church itself have started off on a wrong track by calling politicians people who are raping the government system. People who are dishonest are being brought as chief guests into a religious conference to speak to the congregation. You see, we should be in a church, we should be looking at the pastors as a very important person, but the church itself does not treat the pastors as an important people. You see, and all of them are fighting to be the executive secretary or somebody placed at the higher level. Whereas the lowly man called the pastor, who is representing the church in every village, is the poorest mission worker in the mission field. He doesn't have enough pay, but he has children, and like any father and mother, tai can be bacha tu palibo lage, education dibo lage, to poisa na thaki kena ini khabole bi iman duk kuri kena pastor kam kuri ase. To tai can be kheti kam kuri to pastor can be. Khabole ase, khabo lage to pra bosti manu nishna tai bi kheti kuri ase. Kheti kuri kena aibo church time hoise koile to gusul bi nokoribo time nai. Bible dhori kena ini Bible kholibo kun verse tar sukhte lage itue pulpit te khara kuri kena ini sermon diye to amakan church ke congregation mano ase kuri kena boha to sermon to huni thake Bible verse huni thake holi bi amakan nijor monte Ami bi bhal Christian kuri kena honest attitude, Christian values, manu ke moram kuri, compassionate attitude, na ek dosa ke moram kuri kena ek dosa ke helping hand di community laga bhal kam kuribo karne monte sermon di kena itu nishina mokhos cholai shuru kurise kole Christian spirit prahi congregation aru community to itu Christian values pra khara kuribo para manu palise koile basically our Naga community as Christians we should have been one of the finest people with the finest political system kintu ko nishina pastors come to tai can be nijor duty Korea se koigena ini sermon pulpit utigena sermon dibo lage etpra ini ki kobo koigena manu laga mon tu nochoeto to itu nishina hoigena amakan sob Christian manu ase hoile bi casual Christian manu na to Christian clan hi ase amakan
sir moi ta ek par interrupt kuru 2018 election Aro 23 election dibi. Nagaland de sai shugule church prabi sir apni koanishna preaching kura homoy de political parties kan lakan naam cholai kina pulpit pra preach kura. Apni la opinion pe kiya is it wrong or right?
No, you see in the church pulpit usigena nijor party laga kotha kura to hole to itu to le Christian niyom nohe to. Bible te political party support koribo karne koha nohe to khali Christian principle bhal manu nijor represent koribo karne honestly choose koribi itu hi ase aru amar babak generation ti hole to sabina I mean there are wonderful examples first generation Naga Manukhan, Amar 1964, the first election kura time te oleto, they chose people who could lead and be concerned about the people, welfare. They were honest and they were good Christians. So when they worked in the government, they were honest, and so question of taking bribes and doing all kinds of underhand tactics in the development work didn't happen. So when you look at situation like even now present days, the old Ministers' Hill, the ministers are living in the same building that was constructed way back in 1965, 66, 67.
Yes.
Those were constructions that were built with good materials because the contractors had all the money in his hand to get good quality material to construct the buildings. So they are still surviving. As for today, with all the corruption, you may build RCC, but RCC buildings, when the rain comes, some of the ministers' house, they put buckets to have the water droppings collected. See, that is a very stark difference. And the simple truth is, see, let's take an example of my father. My father from Atoizu, he allowed a younger generation people to represent Atoizu constituency, and he contested from Mokoktung town, okay? Now my father as a Sema has won in our headquarter in Mokoktung in 64. Do you think that such a thing will ever happen? And that gives you a very big picture that the people there were looking for good, honest people who would care for the community, you see? And therefore, whether he was a Sema or not, the people were not concerned. The Owls and the community in Mokoktung voted for my father, and he won the election in Mokoktung as a Sema, winning in our constituency. Such a history will never repeat, you see? And that is the quality of our people. So the whole system was of an honest approach, and they looked at the capabilities and the honesty of an individual. Those values have all disappeared now, you see? And it's not going to happen. So when people go up today, they go up and as a politician, they go and stand with much confidence because they have money, and they talk about politics in church even. And it is the church which allows that because they also want money. When the chief guests come, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs is given to the church.
As donations.
As a donation. And they are looking towards that possibility. And so chief minister or ministers are normally called the chief guest in all the religious functions also. You see?
So sir, itia laga trending to saishigule, Lok Sabha election, junto amigan Nagaland state April 19 di vote dibo. Sir, NTPP aro BJP, a coalition takan mati ase PTA government. Aro takan la candidate to Dr. Chomben Mori.
Yeah.
Tai MLA, ex-minister.
Yeah.
Aro Indian National Congress per saile itia working president NPCC Supongman Jamir. Tai bi ex-MLA. Aro on the other side, saishigule sir independent candidate ase. Haidang Tongo. To takan dinjun laga machute sir. Itia laga trending is up to kunchi ti bunishna. Hanas opinion apa nila sir?
I don't know who will win as such, but looking at, as I said, itu ini naga public niyom saile na. Naga public tu itu Lok Sabha TV 2 issues sai. Kali duita. Kun sentete government choli ase. Itu ekta. Dosra to hole to sukubon kurigena kiman poisa tanibo paribo. Itu kothai ase. To itu hesab ti jabo koise koile to present government BJP and NDP, whatever they call themselves, you see, they've got all the government control. Huh? They have government machinery, they have all the money, huh? And they will use that money left, right, and center, and the public are just waiting for that.
And they have 60 MLA.
And then, so all the 60 MLAs will go into their own constituency and give the money that the people only want. They don't care who is standing as a candidate. As long as they get money, that's about the end of the story, you see? And so if you are going to judge the whole situation from that perspective, then I think the present government candidate has got much more chance of winning the election than anybody else. You see?
Well, sir, itia arbi tadi moi ta counter question. ENPO laga issue iman dangor chuli ase. Aro takan koi ase ki itu bar election, Lok Sabha election takan participate nokribo. So ENPO laga vote pi sir ekta difference ekta aibo nishna na kiniga.
Look, ENPO can participate koribo no koribo kwatu tai kan nijor decision ase. Aru jodi tai kan participate no koribo koile bi. See, the situation doesn't change. All the tribes, be it ENPO or all the other tribes, the 8 tribes, the people consisting of the 8 tribes, public law nyom to majority attitude is still the same, you see, whether with ENPO or without ENPO, with the 8 tribes also, the public is not concerned about Naga political issue, that we have suffered this long and that the Naga solution needs to be focused upon, and we must do our best to bring the Naga solution to a close. These are issues that are important, but nobody is looking at anything, and every time the election comes, it is the money that is being this thing. So even if ENPO does not participate, and if only the 8 tribes take part in the whole thing, it's still going to be decided on who spends more money. You see? And the state government, with all the government machineries and all the government money that is available, is going to be used by all the 60 MLAs or 40 MLAs, and they'll do the same thing. And therefore, from that judgment, from that perspective, you see, the present government's candidate is bound to win. You see, the only thing is when there is an issue base within which we look at the whole situation, it is in that perspective of whether our Naga people can understand that money is not the only thing that matters. We have to look at our own situation. Amakan nijor kiman sal duk kurigena underground tax di iman duk baigena ahise. Iman duk pa pasote bi itia bi public to faction logote iman faction ulaigena taxation kuri thakya public ham to itia to hoise de Kubule time to punchise to. Holebi itiabi boy khaigena kitchen ti boy gena complain hi kuri ase nohole to public pura khara kuri gena amakan itu Naga issue laga kotha to hole to itu nishana faction iman hoi gena kam kuri thaga to itia to namanibo. Kubule time hoise to na.
Sir, itia ENPO la demand for founder Nagaland. Iman tangan age lui jaise protest aro takan koi ase ki government of India ba takan ke huna nai toka dishi aro takan protest after protest jaise sir, but yade PTA government Nagaland government bi ekta responsibilities thakina takan koi ase to takan awas nola opore sir apuni bi ki koi.
Look, I think the PDA government has not even taken serious note of ENPO's movement right from the beginning.
Okay.
In fact, they have been so indifferent, and they've allowed the whole movement to escalate into what it is now. Kintu ami koi thaga to leto ENPO te tribal Kanbi, they should exercise their mind very, very carefully with maturity. You see, when the state of Nagaland came to being, it was Naga Hills, Tuengsang area as a beginning.
Yes.
Before the state. And they had their own separate councils when they joined with the state. Jointly, it became instead of Naga Hills, Tuengsang area, it became Nagaland ultimately. Mm-hmm. But all the elders of the ENPO tribes are also very responsible people, and they were also Nagas. And we are all Nagas, you see, by way of dividing ourselves into smaller fragments doesn't help them, neither does it help us, you see. Remaining as it is, we are very small. Amakantu iman choto manukhan hi ase, very small population. It to be divided kurigena itia taikan eastern frontier state ki mangi ase itu. They must understand that their senior generation people had voluntarily and willingly joined the state of Nagaland together. Together they formed the state of Nagaland. Yes. So it is part and parcel of their achievements as well, ENPOs, you see. And so instead of taking ownership of being a state, now they are dividing themselves up. But you see, they must question themselves. They had very responsible representatives in the state assembly. They have had ministers, and in fact, when the state started, starting point there, Tuengsang affairs karne ekta specific minister bhi thakise do. Mr. Imlong Chang Akam Imlong was the first minister of the Tuengsang. That time there was no more Longlang. Yes. It was just only Tuengsang district. And for Tuengsang, we had one minister specifically. Now they have had ministers, important ministers in the government all along from the start of the government, you see. Now they must question that, you see. Were they represented by people who were nijor bhalai karni kam kuri thakya manuhi selection kurise na community bhalai karni kam kuribo manu select kurise. Holibi, they have been a part and parcel of the state from the beginning. Taikan ke backward kurigena inika backward rakhya ase kwa excuse to it is not tenable.
So that means sir apni kobu munja do ENPO la demand statehood separate statehood laga do sir apni do agree nokori ko ase naki.
You see, when we go politically speaking, and they are right when they say they were, even during British time Holibi, it is their eastern Naga territory was unadministered area. British can be to taken administrative under the direct control takiana. And so they are using that as an excuse to say that they were never a part of India, they were never part of even the state government and so on. But when the evolution takes place and they have been a part and parcel of the formation of the state, you see, they must honor the pledge of their senior generation people, the first generation people who made the commitment. Now, Nagas, when your fathers, your grandfathers have made a commitment to say this is what we will do as and my children will follow this principle, you see, those are a matter of honor to follow. Now, when the first generation have made themselves available to form the state, it is their duty to ensure that the state is sustained, number one, and when there is unfairness, itu taikan ke bhal prasanai. Yes, I would say even that they have a right to get unhappy about the state government not paying sufficient attention to the Eastern Bloc. But even to that extent, as I said, there can be nijor ministers, MLAs can government system te development karne thaki ke na aise. To tai can representative ministers can to nijor pocket laga kam hi kuri thaki na public sabole to charia karne te bole to Nagaland state upor te phelabo na lage to buja etu to. They are equally responsible for the backwardness, even if they claim so. They are part and parcel of the system that caused their own backwardness because they did not select their candidates to represent them properly.
So that means, sir, apni koa do ENPO laga itia area kan bishi underdeveloped ase. Aro government bra takan ki neglect kore koa laga do, sir. Elected 20 legislators ase. Takan ki bhi olop responsibility diya ase na ki?
Oh yes, I would give them 100% responsibilities to say that they are responsible to have ensured that the people are allowed to grow, progress. They haven't done that. And because their elected representatives have been selfish and looked after only themselves and not the community, who is supposed to be blamed? Not the state government. They should look at their leaders and question their leaders, not the state government per se, or the Nagas in general, you see. And so they need to understand, and for me, I say asking for a separate state. For me, as far as I'm concerned, it would amount to self-destruction only. You see, yatibi inikase, even if they get a separate state, the people who are leading the movement, ite movement e dangoria khan, jodi state paile itu khan hi ministers, MLAs, so dangor position tai khan hi lobo, aru tai khan punchi se gole, they will be the same as Mr. Rio and all the other ministers that are working here. It will be just the same, no different.
But how can you assure? Abnikili to full assurance take away, sir. Maybe itia chundu takan movement lead kurese, takan ba dolop changes pi anibo pare, inabi hobo pare.
Well, we can theorize everything, but they are also brought up from the present system. It is something that is deep inside as a habit. And that habit is not going to die. So once they get the state and they become chief ministers and ministers, they will do exactly what the present ministers and MLAs are doing here too. And whether the public will benefit from that or not, I still doubt. But my point is this. You see, the state government having failed the Eastern people, and if there is a new rearrangement, something like autonomous councils, where they are given their own budget to look after themselves, because whether they are in a state hobi, no hobi, kintu, if they have a separate budget to take care of the Eastern Bloc infrastructure and development, you see, and they have the full, complete authority to use that money for the development of the Eastern Bloc, then what difference does it make whether they get a state or not a state, but they need an independent, autonomous financial authority to be able to help themselves.
You mean, sir, something like Karbi Anglong National?
Yes. So they should be able to, they should be happy with that, but by way of dividing ourselves, it doesn't help them. Taikan karne bhi iman bhal nai, Nagas in general karne bhal noy.
So, sir, abunila opinion do Nagas to kinika thakishi puila bra united thakibo lagi, divide no hobo lagi koi ase.
Itu hi koi ase.
Okay. Sir, amijin la charcha do chuli thakibo. Viewers, etia laga conversation do chuli thakibo, but we will take a short break and we will be right back.
Kohima homestay bisari sikule chinta na kuri. Airtel Voice kuigina ekta studio condo Kohima down getse. Atel Waisaga rooms condo, bishi unique karo, spacious PSC. Paul Kupordo rooms daga damkan, bishi reasonable ase. Atel Waisahibi aro amigan logoti puhikina apni laga stay go napauri boli panabi.
Viewers, welcome back. Amigan very interesting Sir KK Sema logot amigan kotha chuli ase aru bi taike ekta duita sawal uthibo. Sir, center de dia sai shigule BJP government led NTA government beshi takra chuli ase aru takan BJP pra itia takan rally alak alak te koi ase, interviews alak alak te koi ase ki itu part ho 400 to jitibo lagi takan. Then Sir, itu par election 2024 with BJP government power de aishigule that word secularism. Itu Constitution of India bra hatibuli laka phoi ase na nai. Nole itu par BJP government center de aishigule. Sir, state like Nagaland garni be olop tektar hobo na no. Apuni la opinion ki ase sir?
Secularism la kotha to Bhal Prabhavna Kuri Saile to BJP government to the issue itself has already come up. Secularism to India Karuniti Hole to BJP Prabhavna Kurya to it is not required.
Okay.
Taikan Bhabata. Aru RSS main political grassroots workers RSS philosophy prahi BJP survive kuri thake aru RSS khan koato le to India to Hindu manu laga country ase sob Hindu hobo lage aru tai khan jobor josti pra ki hole bi etu sob India north south east west sob Hindu banabu karne he chesta koribo koi kene itu RSS fundamental principle itu hi ase to aru BJP to itu follow kuri ase itia tak to full force cholai gena control koribo para nai hole bi secularism to hole to not necessary kwa laga debate tak bi ulai thakya to hole to there is an intention appears to be a serious intention to remove secularism from the constitution. Now, the moment that happens, then I think we as a minority Christians, we are going to go back into the ages where the Christians have been persecuted by the Romans when the Christianity first began. We are going to go back into those backward ages. And slowly but surely, you see, they have also talked about the anti-conversion law, you see. Now, if they get a full majority, they are going to be able to do anything but anything, take out any laws that does not suit the Hindutva policy. So secularism is one subject matter that the BJP wouldn't want to sustain because if it's going to be a Hindutva or the country for the Hindus, then having a secular constitution gives a legal status to all the other religion, and they do not want any religious freedom being given to any other religion other than Hindus, you see. So be it the Muslims or the Christians or the Buddhists or Jains or any others, all other religion is going to be submerged. And therefore, to me, it is a very dangerous, ekdam khatarnak laga kotha ase, amakan nijo state, Khali state noy, but all other states where there are huge population of non-Hindus living in the country, like down south. So it will bring about a serious division in the country. It's likely to fragment very seriously. But for the Nagas as Christians, we are doubly going to suffer because even as a Christian majority within the state, You see, they are going to, they have even, RSS have even said, I mean, and they are also declaring all over the place, huh? In the future, only Hindus can become a chief minister of a state. They are talking of things like that, you see. Now, I don't know, we as Christians, amakam so Christian mana ase going to BJP party to join koribo. BJP te khali political party ase going to ikuno Christian hobi kuno hobi itu to khali political party ase going to join kori ase. Holi bi amakam naga manu to na. Hindu manu prabi bishi religious hoy jai to Hinduism te tika maribo temple te jabo puja koribo Christian manu to itia BJP ti kam kura naga manu temple jai na puja kori ase to.
Olivi sir, itu to puja di ja apni itia puja jai na naga manu bra tika lagai ko ase. Sir, itu to takan laga religion kan ge respect ini dia laga ekta no hoy.
Okay, so when you worship a God that you claim to be your God, that little cultural thing or worshipping thing, you are worshipping something else beyond your own God. Huh? So, Nijor Bhagwan Kwatu Husa Bhagwan Logote Pratna Kuri Asana, na itu ini nam pra Christian ase karne Jesus koi gana pratna kuri ole bhi so religion to iki ase koi gana kuri thakile to you're not a Christian.
But the Constitution of India also says every religion should be respected.
No, respected. Respect there to we should not torture, punish or harass or do anything unkind to anybody, be it religion, be it anybody. Huh? Okay. So the Christian principle basically is a compassionate way of looking at it, and the Constitution also says every religion should be given due respect. Now, that principle is going to be removed by way of taking out secularism. That's what I'm saying, you see. But then we as Christians, when we go and start worshipping in the Hindu temples, because you are a BJP, you see, that is a characterless Christians, you see. Respect their religion. If they are Hindus, fair enough, let them be Hindus, but I'm a Christian, and therefore I should ensure that my Christian principles are observed and not violated. I should be a Christian and not participate in the religious functions of the Hindus. If you do that, you're not a Christian, you see, because you are worshipping somebody else's God.
So, sir, itu laga charcha de arbi Manipur state take pa jau. So, itu Good Friday ase. Nagaland itu Good Friday to kunba school kando already from Wednesday chuti pa ase. Kunba Friday bra pai. Ole bi Manipur state te dia sai shigule etia communal clash to chari thakibi. Ole bi Manipur state to Good Friday bi chuti nai ko ase.
Okay.
So
it's been declared.
Yes, declared hoise government bra.
Yeah.
To tadibi apni ki koi.
You see, it's not only Manipur declaring Good Friday as a working day. Huh? The government of India has already begun defiling the Christian Sunday. Vote counting, vote this, vote that, any other official thing, and creating all kinds of official duty for the government, even on Sundays, on Christmas Day itself, you see. That is more or less the trend that's going to come.
So that means intentionally government bra kuriya se koise na ki?
It is. If it is not intentional, it cannot be a mistake when they particularly pick Good Friday to become a working day, and making Sunday a working day as an official duty by the government of India in so very many areas. It is intention is very clear of things that are going to come. Right now under secularism, they are toning it down. But the moment secularism is gone and Hindutva and Hindu as a country of the Hindus principle apply, then everything that is Hindu will be the calendar for all people, no matter which religion you are in. So we Nagas are being considered as special in the sense of Article 371A, where our culture, religion, everything is protected.
Yes.
Even that, once BJP gets into a complete majority in them, there's every possibility for Article 371A to be scrapped like that of Jammu and Kashmir. What is going to stop them if they have the complete majority, you see? And with one member in the Lok Sabha representing us, do you think that one member can do anything in the national parliament to stop such a movement against the Nagas? They cannot, you see? And therefore, when we are looking at the Naga political issues, I think these are some of the impending dangers lying ahead. How best can the Nagas protect ourselves from, no matter what happens in India, our religion, our customs, our tradition must be completely foolproof, protected. It is this kind of subject that has to be taken very serious look at when the Naga solution takes place. But who is paying attention to the Naga solution here, is it? So when we look at the general dangers that are impending, it is all the more important for the Nagas to look at our Naga political issues as an issue that foresees what are the possibilities. Ki ahibole ase itu saikena amakan tu Christian mana ase amakan religion tu kon rokom tibi takan chubo na pare. Amakan customs tradition chubo na pare. You see, common civil code.
Yes.
Even that is detrimental to our tradition, our customary laws. When you have one civil law, all our laws will become subsidiary to that civil law nationally applied. You see? So in very, very many ways, so many bhag saise koile, India to BJP pra final majority paigena constitution ti ki ase Hindu la niyom prahi cholobo kane ekta duita tinta charta kuri amendment kuri gena start kura pasote hole to amakan nijor protected constitutional right thakya bi harabo to, you see?
Now, sir, apuni bra iman BJP government bra ki kuri ase ki kuri she aro 2024 Lok Sabha election pasote power de ale ki hobule ase threats karna bi assumptions bi apni koise. So, and then, sir, 2018, the Kaspani to Congress ticket contest, and 2019, the Congress party chari dishe. Now you are not inclined to any political party.
I'm not a political party.
Only, sir, apni imman vocal kurigina itia BJP laka kwa sabti sir. Are you against BJP or their policies, or are you speaking as a congressman or as a citizen?
Look, I'm purely looking at the whole political situation as a private Naga citizen, concerned about our future and the future of our children. I don't care in as far as the political issues and political parties are concerned. I will criticize, if I have to, I will criticize the policies of the BJP government. Doesn't mean I'm against BJP, but the policies that hurt us is what I'm talking about. Now, I was in Congress. I gave due respect and cognizance to Congress basically because it was secularism principle to uphold kuri. Para na para kotha nai, at least they have had the principle of secularism and the freedom of the rights of individual. It has been respected. Now, under the BJP, you see, the individual rights are slowly getting depleted, destroyed. So when the common civil code is applied, be it Muslims or the Christians or we as Nagas, our traditional customs and traditions, all these are going to be submerged, nullified. If that happens, then what are we joining India for? See, we have never been conquered people. You see, we have never joined the Indian Union. You see? It is by circumstances, by force, all development has taken place within which now we are talking about being a part of India by way of consent. But in a historical perspective, Nagas have never been a part of India. We have never conceded to being an Indian. Maybe under the circumstances of things, we are becoming a part of India. But that doesn't say that we are not an individual by ourselves. And our identity, our dignity, that is something that we are proud about and we must maintain. And therefore, when we are looking at settling our scores and political solutions with India, these are the areas for all political factions that are struggling, so-called, for sovereignty. They must take into consideration what are the development that is happening, what are the possibilities that are going to come, and especially on the issues of Hindutva, you see, a whole range of situations can come about. So anti-conversion law, as I said, CAA, all of these things that are impending and will come, every single one of it are detrimental to the Nagas, our survival. And therefore, no matter what happens, the Naga solution must keep in track of the impending things that are about to come and make sure that whatever has been agreed upon by way of our dignity and our right, that has to be protected. But our Naga political factions, instead of working for the bigger good for the Nagas as a whole, are working again surreptitiously, doing dangerous things like the NSA-NIM, looking for a Naga nation where there is no integration, but they want to be a part of the Naga nation and enjoy the rights of the Nagas when they have their own independent autonomous council in Manipur, for instance, Tangkhul. They will enjoy their privileges independently in Manipur, but also enjoy the same privileges as us in the state of Nagaland as a Naga nation. You see, these are the plans of our southern brothers. And they've got what they call the Pan-Naga Ho. The issue of Pan-Naga Ho is again another issue in which they want to use this Pan-Naga Ho solution power pasute Nagaland state control kuri thakibu ko laga clause ase to. Itu khan to le to nijor destruction kam hi focus kuri kena asol ki amakan sob karne danger ase. Itu hole to nasai kena hi tai khan solution pasute kini ga kuri state of Nagaland control kuri thakibu ko to. I don't agree with that.
But then, sir, 2015, the framework agreement signed, Government of India,
Yeah.
then NNPGs can be agreed position signed.
Right.
Just the ink probably pakia sequence. But then, sir, itu laga issues TV saishe wila abuni kun ke blame dibo. Government of India ke blame dibo na early naga solution naha garne na political parties pishi hui jaba underground groups more than 24 parties unofficially.
Right.
So itu laga issues TV abuni ki koi, sir? Your only honest one opinion, sir.
Look, Government of India, tai can be itu solution to dibolemon ase, koi thaki ase. Hole bi amakan nijor Naga manubi itia tu faction iman hoi kena bondu pra threaten kuri ase to na. Kintu asol kobo koile to once issue of sovereignty is not being considered, the state government is capable of generating public opinion to ensure that we claim something collectively in a united form. The government of Nagaland is capable of doing that, you see. But even the government of Nagaland doesn't want solution. So NSA-NIM doesn't want solution because people like Mr. Muiva doesn't have anywhere to go after solution comes. He has to go back to Manipur in that small little corner of autonomous council. Mr. Rio, with all the control that he has in the government, where he is being able to make as much money as he wants, with all the corruptive system within which finance is monetary gains are being got, he doesn't want to disturb the system. Mr. Muiva doesn't want to disturb the system where he is in total control. So when the state government is not interested, when the factions are not interested, then is it correct to blame the government of India not deciding and giving us the solution? We are equally to blame. Huh? And the state government and people like Mr. Rio who are at the helm of affairs, they have to be accountable for all this nonsense that is going on. You see?
But sir, there is not an issue like 19 lakhs population though, awas nai though. Aru takan iko awas no lai though.
See, Amakan tribal ho dase. Takan biya pabu pare hole bi Amakan tribal ho kan to so minister, chief ministers pocket, advisors pocket to humai can boa kani ase. Asol public laga duk suk aru naga principal prahe khara koribo ka laga kotha tu kun naga ho bi kotha nokore to. Chief minister ki kobi kobo idui kobo. Kun ba to on the ground hi ki kobi kobo idui kobo. Naga ho nishina. Itu nishina hoigina amakan nijor public kan to taxi digena duk paigena kitchen te complain hi kuriya se ole bi ikiloke ulai kena khara kurigena itia tu amakan naga solution to kuribo time hoise itu hesab te khara kuribo parise koile to government of India bi solution to dibo lagibo hi hoi jai hole bi amakan itu tu nopungche to na Kwa Nishina Muiva is not interested in solution. Mr. Rio is not interested in solution. They are happy with the system as it is. And we as a public, we are scared of the guns of the underground. We are scared that the government may not take care of us when we need. And election aile paisa olo paisa koile khuchi prae to andaz kam hi kuriya ase nole to asol kotha to kun hi koi ase. There isn't anybody talking about the real issues of what must be done for Nagas. And the Naga political issue is the one issue that has to be given complete priority in sorting out the Naga political issues. But nobody is interested.
So sir, itia PTA government Nagaland jindo sarkar chuli ase. Overall development, Nagaland the development hobi, governance hobi, kinika chuli ase. Your opinion?
Look, this opposition-less government koi gana kuratu na, taikan sabole bhal hobo karne he, Naga political issue karne he, amakan sob ikiloke join kurigen he, opposition-less government kurigen khara koribo ka. Ikiloke kam kuri ase, taikan Naga political issue laga kotha koi ase na nai. Hunye na hune. Development infrastructure ko to ki development kuri ase. Rural areas there, amakan Naga public kan Alcatraz black topping kura hat pra anguli pra ulai dia to. Social media te itu nishna development ase hey koi gena ulai dekha itu nishna development na for sure. Naam pra he dekha he ase nole it's not quality development. There is no proper infrastructural development of any kind. It is all a hoax to fool the people of Nagaland to say opposition-less government in order to fight for Naga solution. Naga solution to ole to mon tibi nai to taikanto. Rozana kinika kuri poisa kamabo paribo kun rasta prahe ini poisa tanibo paribo itu rastai bisaya kani bishi ase. Nohole to asol social concrete development work kuribo karne quality development dibo karne itu ole kun ki kuri ase. Every minister is busy for himself. Every advisor is busy for himself.
But sir, for all those reasons, apuni age debi kuise 60 elected members ase constituency sob to saigina jaile public kan ase public kan awas no lai do. So apuni bi itia koise sob milai gina awas to labo lagi. Yes, apuni koise ki itia laga PTA government bra development eku alak nokure. Aro apuni social media laga bi koise black topping rasta bunala. Yes, true. Well, sir, it has to be the people.
So you see, you come back to the same issue, huh? The vicious cycle of all of us responsible. Amakan sob, kali ministers, MLA kan noe, candidates kan noe. Amakan sob, church, amakan political party, public kan, aru MLAs kan. Amakan sob iki loke milai kena. We started the vicious cycle of poisa pra kinibo. Minister hoile itu poisa tu kinika kiman phelaise itu kamabo aru aha election jabo karne bi aru tanibo itu laga khel hi ase baki tu public development welfare ko tu le tu sukupra bi dekhibole na parai hoise ki kuru ha so it's the same cycle is it cycle being rerun and it's getting more and more expensive. Sal pra kiman election aibo itu election poisa tu dam uthi ase to. Huh? Imagine some candidates are spending 30-40 crores to win an election. That's not something easy. Huh? Rajiti humabo na parigen thakibo to na. Itu kinika wapas kamabo. Itu laga ongkoi kura manuhi ase sob. Minister MLA kan. To itu national system tu amakan nijor hi banai ase to. Amakan vote bikri kure. Amakan bikri kura karne tai kan tu kini bolo kya hoye jai itu prai kiniye. Amakan bikri nokurbo kole to tai kan bi nakini bolo to na. To basically responsibility to amakan public majote hi ase to na kintu sob iki noy olo paisa 5000 10000 ek bolero ekta scooter motorcycle paise kole hoise ha dosa manu jinda hobi muribi kun ki hisab ase itu la niyom prahe chole ase to na to amakan nijor public kan itu mokhos prahe thaki jaise koile to amakan future nai to itu pra kon nisna church can be election hoba agete clean election campaign kora 4-5 months agete clean election campaign ja ki laga drama say to they must let the church work like a proper church as a good Christian church where our Christian population in the congregation learn to be good Christians with Christian values deep inside, so that we stand up for any given issues as honest Christians, doing honest things on value base. So the church has a lot of responsibility here also. But as I said, even the church is focused on money. Most of the churches, including NBCC, they are looking at money as a fundamental aspect of management. Calling the VIPs, you see, in a religious conference, you see, they should be calling people like Billy Graham, late Billy Graham. People with the spiritual strength, talking to us and making us think. All of Nijor Mon Mokos, itu analyze going maybe Husapra Christian, Bal Christian Manu hobo lage. Kobole para preaching diana. Change itu aise koile. So thick aste pra society bhalo. Kintu itia nishna jat hole kun tribe laga church hole bi nominal Christian clan kan hi hoy jajo. Religion hoy, clan hoy. Christian has become just a clan.
Sir, apuni logot kotha korna beshi hikibole paise. And then conversation to be jari rakhiyo mun jaise we are running short of time. So sir, before we wind up, any itubar Lok Sabha election aibo. Nagaland government to ekta lone city ase. Olebi itu sob kotha kura laga opor de development la opor de voting din di janibo. So sir, apuni laga experience iman dangor aro apuni bra ki laga position de BJP government ekta aishi kule ki ekta hobole ase. Noile itia laga government kiniga chuli ase itula sob apuni la opinion kuish. So voters can give sir itu bar Lok Sabha election de candidate tinjon ase. Takan ki kiniga vote kurbo lage. Apuni laga view speak ekta koi dibo sir.
Bishi kobole nai ami koa nisna ekjon khali ekta lone Lok Sabha seat ase. Holebi yati to amakan nijor naga manu ase koigena nijor identity maintain kuribo icha manu ase koile. We are Christians. You see? And as Christians, we should honestly consider the dangers that I have already explained. And even if it is the lone member, I would wish it is a candidate that is able to actually uphold the identity of the Nagas in completeness as a Christian, not as a Hindu. And therefore, BJP, NDPP, olebi itu to Hindu hoise. For me, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm to put my vote, I don't care whether Mr. A or B wins or loses, but I certainly wouldn't vote for a Hindu candidate.
Okay.
And that is all.
Okay.
I would vote for a Christian, real Christian.
ঠিক আছে স্যার আপনি লা অপিনিয়ন কই দিছে আৰু স্যার ওভারঅল নাগাল্যান্ড লাগা হবে সেন্টার লাগা গভর্নমেন্ট হবে এএনপিও ইস্যুস হবে আৰু মণিপুৰ লাগাবি হবে নাগা সলিউশন লাগা হবে স্যার সব আপনি লা এক্সপেরিয়েন্স আপনি কি দেখি পাইছে এটো সব নাগা মানুকে শেয়ার কৰি দিয়া কাৰণে স্যার বেশি খুশি পাইছে উই হোপ টু ইন্টারভিউ ইউ ইন দ্য কামিং ডেজ এজ ওয়েল স্যার থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ সো ভিউয়ার্স আপনি গান শুনি পাইছে দ্যাট ওয়াজ কে সেমা আইএস রিটায়ার্ড আৰু তাই 78 ইয়ার্স হ'বলৈ আছে ইটো সা তাই গভর্নমেন্ট দেবি কমিশনার এন্ড সেক্রেটারি কাম কৰি কিনা ৰখিছে একাউণ্ট 2013 বৰা তাই জয়েন কৰি কিনা কাম কৰি কিনা আহিছে 2018 দে আইএনসি বৰা তাই কন্টেষ্ট কৰিছে আৰু তাই এতিয়া কৈ আছে কি ওভাৰঅল এক্সপিৰিয়েন্সটো লৈ কিনা নাগালেণ্ডটো চাইছে গ'লে বেছি বিয়া ফেচ চলি আছে চাৰ্চ বি হবি সিভিল সোসাইটি হবি voters can be hobi politicians hobi poisa laga opor nachi ase kuise aru itu par 2024 Lok Sabha election center de khiligina BJP ra jitishi gule takhan laga ideology aru policies to saile secularism constitution of India ra hata bolila threat to dangor dikhi pai ase kuise aru itui noi gina as a citizen aru as a Christian tai laga Moon brado kun candidate pi hobi tai Christian laga mandate rakhi kina vote dibo ko ase not that politician laga naam bi kun bi chola nai holibi Nagaland state te lone ekta Lok Sabha seat ase itu phapi kina tai do as a Christian vote koribo ko ase aro ENPO laga charcha opor bi tai bra khota goise ki Nagaland statehood na pa kete ENPO laga predecessors Baba Khanbra, Nagaland laga statehood laga 1963 December 1 de pabi contribution dangor dikina ase. Parishi gule divide kura noina unite kurna thaki boli laga opinion dai koi ase. Aru overall Nagaland development itia PTA government bra pona laga porde tai bra kwa do eko alak to hanai. Rasta khan buna khan be pusti de social media de dikhi ase kiniga bunai ase. পইচা তো কামাবো পইচা কামাই কিনা আহা ইলেকশন কাৰণে জমা কৰিবলৈ ৰাখা খান হি হৈ যায় শিকৈ আছে আৰু চাৰ্চ দিবি পাৰিছে গলে পলিটিক্স প্ৰিচ নকৰি না ট্ৰু খ্ৰীষ্টিয়ান একটা কিনিকা থাকিব লাগে ইটো প্ৰিচ কৰিলে বেছি ভাল আছে কোৱা তাইবি শুনি পাইছে আমি গান আশা ৰাখিব কি স্যাৰ কে সেমা লগত যোনটো ইন্টাৰভিউ লৈছে আৰু কি কথা কৈছে আপুনি গান বি তাতে পৰা লবলি লাগা কোনবা তো পাই না থাকিব Viewers kan itia karone mani for more updates abanan sai ragibi global window.